Welcome to this advanced lesson in which we are going to learn what I might call the nerdiest arpeggio exercise you could know on the mandolin. It will explore all 12 keys, all inversions of all chords, all up and down the fretboard. In full flow, it sounds a bit like this. The idea for this exercise was very heavily inspired by this book called Jazzology. I was working through it, and in the first chapters it sort of goes through the fundamentals of music theory and talks about the triads or the arpeggios. And it talks about the major, the minor, the augmented, the diminished, and the suspended. That was C. So C major, minor, augmented, diminished, and then suspended. And then it talked about the different inversions, and by inversion it means what note you have on the bass. So in the root it's C, that's your lowest note. So in first inversion it's the third on the bass, so in E it'd be the C. And then the second inversion has the fifth on the bass, so in C that would be G, so it would be something like that. So then this book had the phrase, now play the triad qualities discussed so far in all 12 keys in all possible intervals. Include them in your practice regime until you can play them without using the book and without writing them down. So being the nerdy person I am, I took their advice and came up with this exercise. So in this lesson, I'm going to talk about the G set of arpeggios and the A set of arpeggios, and then it'll be over to you to take those into all the other 10 keys. I should say at this point that everything we talk about is included in the free PDF below, so make sure you have that downloaded and in front of you so you don't have to learn this by ear, you can see it written in front of you. So we'll start with the G major arpeggio. And it's all on the starting down here on the low G, so we want G, B, D, so there's our root. And then we want first inversion, so we want to start on the third. And then we want the second inversion. So there's our 3 inversions. So and I should say, pick stroke is not too important in this. This is a left-hand exercise, but if you can start each set of 3 on a down, so effectively we're playing this in 6/8 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. So down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. That would be useful, but it's not the main point of this exercise. But that's what I'll be doing. So down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. So that little pattern is the starting point for everything. So make sure you can do that quite comfortably. Root, first inversion, second inversion. And then to make this a nice exercise, we'll do that, but going back down. So as you can see, there are quite a few position shifts in there. So in normal position, shift, shift, stay there, shift, shift. So there's 4 position shifts. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I have notated them on the PDF, and I recommend you try and copy the finger pattern I'm using. You can do your own bits of interpretation, but I strongly suggest you try and copy what I'm doing. So let's loop that round a few times until you feel comfortable with it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again. Shift, shift, shift. One more time. once you've got that, once you've got used to that position shifts and what finger covers what, that sets you up in good stead for the rest of the exercise. Now we can look at the minor. So all we need to do is flatten the third. All the position shifts are in the same place. So here, 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 and here. You're just making the B natural into B flat. So let's try G major and then G minor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Minor. Okay, hopefully you're still with me so far. Don't forget you can pause, rewind, and even slow me down with the cog if I'm going too quick. The next one is the augmented. So we have the 1, the 3, and then a sharp 5. So sounds like that. It's quite often used in jazz. So in G, that's G, B, and D sharp. So G, B, D sharp. So same pattern. So root, first inversion, second inversion. So the second inversion is a slightly different position shift. With this one, you're going with your third finger. So let's just try that round a few times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again. One more time. Augmented. Next we have G diminished. So the G diminished chord. So we've now got root, flat 3 and flat 5. So G, B flat, D flat. So that's G diminished. So slightly different pattern again. Shift, shift. Much more similar to the G major one now. So let's just play that round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again. And finally, G suspended. So you might not commonly see this written as like G sus4. So I always think of Cyndi Lauper's Time After Time, which is sort of C sus4. Because it sounds, the sus means it, the suspended element means it's suspended, feeling like it wants to resolve back to the major triad. So that's what suspended means. So in G, that's G, C, and D. 1, 4, 5. So, completely different pattern this time. There's only one position shift, so here. And then one more on the way back down. So let's just try that together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Stay there. Stay there. Shift. And again. Shift. So now we have the root, the first and the second inversion for G, G minor, G augmented, G diminished, and G suspended. And the challenge now is to tie them all together into one exercise. So I'm going to put the metronome on and I'm going to play through those. And don't forget, this is included in at the end of the sheet. If you're looking at the PDF, I've included it as one long exercise. So I'll give you a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 count in. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Minor. Augmented. suspended. Should do that one more time. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Major. Minor. Augmented. Diminished. Suspended. Oof. Well done if you've made it to the end of that. Don't forget on YouTube you can repeat as often as you need to, and you can slow me down with the cog. So that exercise will also apply if you move it over a string and do it on D. Exactly the same pattern, just one string higher. So that would account for 2 of the 12. So now let's do an A arpeggio that can cover the other 10. So with our A major, so we've got A, C sharp and E. So again, four position shifts. Here, and here, and here, and here. And again, I've written out all those position shifts and match mine if you can. And then A minor, very similar. So A, C and E. So let's just try A major and A minor. I'm going to go through these a bit quicker. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A major. A minor. And then, you've guessed it, A augmented. So this time it's A, C sharp and E sharp. I know that technically it isn't an E sharp, but if you were being musically correct, you wouldn't call it A, C sharp and F. You would call it A, because you're augmenting the fifth. It's an E sharp. So, but you might need to lie down after this, but we're almost there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Roots. First position. Second. And then the diminished. So now it's A, C natural and E flat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And finally the A suspended. So remember this time it's A, D and E, so that's the sound. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And all that's left to do now, you've guessed it, the full exercise for A. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Minor. Augmented. Diminished. Suspended. There we go. A major, A minor, A augmented, A diminished, and A suspended, all in root first and second inversions. If you've got more in you, that covers, because that's closed, so if you think about it, there's no open strings in that exercise, which on the mandolin means one thing, it means we can move it anywhere. So your challenge now Move it everywhere. So B flat, B major, C, C sharp, and then once you get to C sharp on the G string, you move over to D, E flat, E major, F, F sharp, and then you're back where you started at G. So, take that, jazzology. All the triads, in all the inversions, in every key, with those two patterns. So you've got the open G exercise and then the closed A. They're both included in full. I highly recommend you spend most of your practice time working through these if you are as nerdy as I am. Just remember that your aim is not to play these fast. Your aim is to play these as clean as possible. So you should be playing them at the speed where they are clean, not a speed where they are not at a fast speed. That's not important. It's no use if you're playing these fast but not clean. So I hope you can get some enjoyment out of this arpeggio exercise. Please do hit like and subscribe while you're here, and all of the free Mando mic lessons, not all of them nerdy arpeggio exercises, are available over at mandomike.com, and we'll see you next month.